Hey guys, we'll get started in just a minute or two. AR, why don't you try talking?
Okay, please let me know if the air conditioner behind me is too obnoxious for you. I'm running it this time because I don't care anymore. I'm hot.
Yeah, so if you guys can hear AR's air conditioner, let him know. I can't.
Huzzah for noise canceling technology.
Well, that's the thing. I don't have it set for you guys because I believe the one time we tried to do that, it was like
It had nervous breakdown.
it was cutting AR's audio out. But now that I think about
Yeah,
it, I think that's a week or two before we figured out you were having internet issues.
possibly, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not.
remember if I have it activated now, but
Yeah,
yeah, I'm not
uh,
gonna futz with it at this
yeah,
point.
no, that makes sense. Okay, they can definitely hear you, and they don't seem to hear your AC AR, so you're good.
Awesome. And no, I don't have noise cancel. I don't have crisp turned on, so.
Yeah, at some point we'll try that again because we need to figure out if that was actually screw up your audio or if it just happened to conflate with the time period where your internet
Yeah, it
was.
could be.
Yeah, but now's not
I
that
still
time.
don't. I just still don't trust it.
Well, it's been working fine without it.
I'm mostly surprised how well mine works because you guys actually get my no. Okay, you guys definitely get my noise canceled audio because you guys couldn't hear me with the gummy either, as I recall. It's not just for
Nope.
the live feed. Okay, you guys ready to go?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Welcome to the WtW podcast. We're here to entertain, inform a bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark, run with the will.
I'm AR Pulver, Digimon System Restore.
FQ and an admin on Wikimon.
You had a fun week on Wikimon, didn't you?
Jesus fucking Christ.
What happened?
The reference book updated and it changed long-standing names, in fact.
Oh,
Names
fun.
were literally like in the show last month, spelled perfectly fine.
Yes. In fact, looking at the talk page, devs, I can literally see, because it's stupid and Bandai can't spell the way out of a paper bag. Her comment on Wikimon on the talk page as they're arguing about it. Because they changed, the reference book does not spell Yanmamon the way they have for 20 plus years.
They also changed the spelling of Gardramon, so one page...
No, they didn't. They only have it wrong on the gold page, the last time I looked at least.
The regular page had it right,
Yes.
at least before. Now the gold page has it wrong.
Last time I looked, they were still spelling it correctly on the normal one. It was just the gold one that was wrong, I think.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Now, honest question, because me bitching about weird name stuff aside, how does Wikimon deal with that when? Because theoretically, it seems like the policy is it goes with the reference book unless you or someone else is going to argue about it stridently enough that it just is a pain in the ass and everyone gives up. What do you do when you actually have two different spellings arguing about it?
That's when I veto everything and just go with the one that is more correct to the etymology of the actual name.
Okay, I was curious about that one because that one was weird, and man, that's a really fucking ugly picture for Gardramon Gold. I have to be honest, that one. Oh, and look, someone added the officially named Gardramon Gold with the bad spelling.
Your job is never done.
Now, what's weird to me is the recoloring doesn't really look good though. Like it doesn't really look.
Like that entire batch, like all the like blacks were all grayed out for everything that got.
Well, so here's what's weird about Gardramon Gold to me. The design actually has a neat look to it where it kind of looks like gold and also like wood grain, where it's not just like gold. Like the main body has kind of like a wood grain look to it, and it kind of gives it a neat vibe. And the recolor, it looks like someone just like took like a yellow pen and just drew over it.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's kind of weird because it doesn't actually look, because that character's only shown up in
couple of games.
Two games, I believe, because it's Next Order and Hacker's Memory and all the revised Hacker's Memory engine versions of Cyber Sleuth. But like they actually designed him kind of nice, where it's like a subtle gold. Then the wood grain, like I said, they tweaked his eye color to look kind of neat. And
yeah, then the band art looks like ass.
It's weird. It's like someone almost did like a paint fill, I almost want to say. It's kind of weird looking to me, at least. But yeah. Yeah, so. And now we get to talk about AR's favorite subject, the show. AR, you've been gushing about this one for days.
It's weird that this is actually not a it's not a bad episode.
It's not a bad.
It's good to see Taichi die a whole bunch of times.
It's not a bad one, but you seem very angry about this one, if I'm being honest.
Oh no, I'm not angry about this one at all. It's the main the framing device, like the beginning and the ending of the episode is like exactly what we should be getting right at this point. It's just the main action is just a joke.
Oh, I like the main action. The main action was
very
fun.
Funny.
I found it fun. The only
I found it funny.
So I found the middle fun. I only really have one issue with it, which I do think kind of mucks up the rest of it. Is after Agumon figures it out, he never actually deals with what he figured out. He
No.
just sort of he just gets the friendship power up and then that's it. But he solved the issue. Once he solves the issue, you don't need to do the friendship power up thing because he can go, okay, it's clearly that one because he figures out the problem.
Yeah, it never was conveyed to me that he actually figure out which Taichi was real. He just blew up all of them.
No. But what I mean is, right before that, he actually figures out why these are all fake, except would be one talking who's real. He figures it out, is what I mean.
I don't even think the real one wasn't really talking though.
So I wasn't sure because I think they were moving around because there was always one who was acting very different from the others.
He was just sort of in pain and waiting for
No. There was one
Agumon
there was one who was always very clearly worried about Agumon and not just rambling about wanting to be saved. There was one who was clearly worried about Agumon. And I took that as being the real one.
I didn't take that as the real one either. I forgot why I didn't, but yeah, I never got the impression that one was.
Okay, so here's
the idea that Agumon. It wasn't because I think it was the one that are you talking about the one that was like Agumon save yourself?
Yes, and I know why you don't take
that's not. Yeah, that's not Taichi either.
I don't see.
He's not so much Agumon save yourself, but it's like it would be there. Like the real one would be more. Come on, you got this. I'm not worried about this.
I can think of that.
Take care of this.
I can think of that as the thing Taichi would do when he's in danger and someone else could get away. The only reason I would not take that as being Taichi is that is the stereotype for every time you get the person holding a gun and there's two identical people. Is one of them goes, no, you have to save yourself, and then that person gets shot, and then you get like the grin from the other one.
Yes.
Yeah, but I have no issue saying that one was Taichi. Yeah, my only issue is he solves the problem of identifying them and then he doesn't. That's my only issue with it. I'm okay with the rest of it, minus that the animation was kind of weird this time.
I just found it's like the way I interpreted it, was very accurately that the real Taichi was the blandest one out of all of them.
Nah, no. See that's old man Pulver making a comeback. You had some good points, and then you're just like, fucking bland.
Like he didn't do anything, and Agumon didn't figure it out. He just blew up all of them.
Also,
which is a very Taichi way of doing it. Like it's a very true to their characters way of solving that puzzle, just brute forcing their way through it. Like that's
just on point for them.
Yeah,
so weird
blow
thing.
Up all of them. There's no penalty for a wrong answer if you're not hit by any damage.
Weird thing about this episode towards the end. Okay, so with Break the Chain, was it the longest usage of it in the show, or did they start it later? Because I could swear it looped at one point.
I don't know if it was. I don't think it was the longest one. It felt like the longest one. Just
it was
because
weird.
Of the weird. The pacing was really off with that.
I feel like they started the song late or something, because at one point I swear it started over, and I got confused for a second.
Like there was like an extended instrumental near the beginning.
Okay, that would explain them.
It was weird.
Yeah, now let's talk about the VIP, who we haven't seen for a long time, Agamon, and we get the Savers perfect version of him.
Yeah, he's back, thank God.
And I have to say they actually used that really well, using the haven't quite used this version of him in the show. That actually worked really well in that, they have a voice and they have, thought. There's a plot to the only issue with that is there was no admission at the time that the Agumon had vanished or anything. Like some mention of where, although I will say, and I know you didn't like this part because I saw it in your text. I actually like that it kind of came up that, they actually have never seen these guys in the digital world before. I actually found that interesting because I hadn't thought of that.
Because they've just been in the network.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. It's not that I didn't like it. It's like I found it odd that they would find that weird.
Well, I found it. See, the reason why I think it worked was him pointing out that others had seen them elsewhere. Taichi has he seen them since that initial 3-parter? I don't think
I
he's
don't
seen them at
think
all.
so.
Not that I recall.
Because he brings up Koshiro having mentioned fighting them and other stuff, but Taichi has not seen any of them since episode 3. So that actually
I was like,
is
oh
kind of
yeah, that's when
interesting.
I beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, so that is kind of interesting, and
I mean,
it's
but bringing
neat.
back Agamon is the thing to do right now. Like
No, it is.
that's a good move.
It just really would have helped if there'd been something when they left that okay, they've been replaced with basically identical
Mhm.
electric. I don't remember what their name, but
The Zurumon, I think.
yes, yeah, that's who they were. But yeah, so it's just kind of odd that I don't know. They've done interesting stuff with the
It's
Algamon. I'll say
yeah, like
they really have.
this
They
is
are
a
so
this is an
fucking cute. I want a plushie of them.
Yeah, this is an episode that has a lot of like the tone is really well set in this episode. They bring the right elements back. They have a good tone going forward. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors considering what's happened before, but they get the mood right in this
Yes,
episode, and I did appreciate that.
and we get the big eyeball, which I've seen basically every Digimon possible guest for the eyeball.
Yeah,
Everyone
I've heard a lot of guesses for that one.
everyone from floating thing from the DigiFes to Armagamon to Diablomon to I think someone said Eosmon at some point, but
It,
I think someone said Eosmon for something else because Eosmon's eye
mm,
doesn't look like that.
it doesn't matter.
Deathmon was one.
It's Bun. We know it's Bun.
Yes.
See, we joke, but if Bun popped out, we would go, "Oh, what the fuck is going on?" If Bun actually popped out.
At the same time, like obviously Final Villain would be a little ridiculous, but if he just showed up in a random episode, we'd just go, "Yep, that's the series."
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, Bun is one of the rare times when if a random Digimon just appeared, I'd be like, "Oh shit," because like here's the thing, I'm not super excited by the random cameos minus. Oh, that's neat. I'm not like what's the fetus one? I don't remember its name.
Automata Kachimon.
Yeah, like when people were completely
Oh
losing their
yeah,
shit that he was gonna show up.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
like it
yeah.
because especially with the fan made Digimon, it's like yay, someone there gets to see their creation actually like on the screen. I bet they're happy.
Oh no,
It's
that person
it's a
gets to be super excited. I'm talking about the people who were freaking out. And
it's it's a
it,
cute aside, but like
yeah,
Hunter's kind of
basically.
did the same thing. It doesn't make the series good, and that's what needs to be said. It's
Eh,
fun. It's just
eh.
it's just a fun characteristic of the
And
series
man,
that doesn't really
and
heighten
I
its
will say this,
quality.
and I will say this, all of our friends who have their own shows, blogs, they were all teed up with the fucking Spider-Verse references. All of them. It's like I said last
Oh,
time.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would love the jokes to be a little more creative. Is all I will say, because everyone was teed up with that one. It was just like a ball on a t-ball stand, just
Yeah,
whack,
yeah.
whack.
That's why I went with the real Taichi was the one with the least personality. Like I think that's the
But
I at least put
that's a
us.
bit
I put
crotchety to
us.
me, at
I
least.
put us. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not wrong.
you did put a spin on it. I'll give you credit there. And next time we get Hikari New Life, where we go back to Pedaldramon, which I don't know. I'm curious to see how that plays out. To be honest, because that
Yeah,
as much as that
it's
was
a,
not a good episode, it worked well in giving her personality and going over some of the weird shit in the world. So I'm curious to see what comes up there and return of some of those characters. Even though
still
they
a
weren't,
very. It was kind of a. I mean, it was it was a standalone situation, so it's a weird thing to go back to.
I don't know. I find that kind of interesting. I'm just curious how it will play out because
Yeah.
it could be very good or it could be falling asleep, and I'm
Yeah.
hopeful for how it acts, especially since we got like them still resting at the hot
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 spring.
spring.
Springs. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so I'm curious to see how that plays out, especially since
Remember when we when Patamon and Tailmon couldn't evolve and we actually found that really interesting and then they
to be
just
fair,
kind of
I didn't expect that to last more than an actual trip to the hot spring.
I was hoping they'd do something more
No,
productive than a trip to the hot spring to
No,
resolve that, though.
the instant the plot was, oh, maybe the hot spring will make them feel better, and they were going to the hot spring, it was, no, they're going to be perfectly fine. It was purely a separate them.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I keep having expectations for this series.
Sometimes you just need a fucking nap.
Yeah, that's all they needed was some good rest. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what pops up there, though. And then we have some anniversaries of some. It's hard to call these good. They're not bad, but they're weird. So, Revival of the Ancient Digimon, it's hard for me to call good because I just don't remember it, and I haven't seen it in so long. But
It's
I remember it being the best. It's like the best frontier thing, isn't it? And I don't mean that in a cynical way. I remember it being good. I just don't remember enough about it to like comment on it.
It's all, I mean, for the little half-hour movies, it's one of the better ones. It's better than the Tamers movies.
And then the Adventure 3D Grand Prix short, which was a ride at Pearland, ran there for a few years. I think
that was a thing that happened.
I think that's still running at. I want to say it's a Korean water park, or like a theme park water park joint thing. I think that's still running somewhere.
It'd be fun if it was a water park. Digimon Adventure 4D.
I think the the Machine of Dreams name. I think it actually is set up for like water spritzing and stuff. I think the term just didn't exist when it ran there.
Yeah. 4D. I'm not sure how widespread that. I'm not sure how widespread that 4D is.
So here's the thing. I've seen exactly one. I've seen some of the smaller 4D things, like when they used to have Terminator 2 3D, which was a 4D thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the only like big scale 4D thing I did was the Gundam 00 movie was playing it at one of the big signature regals in tandem with Anime Expo for a few years ago, and and I have to say that was fucking hell. Like you have the moving seats, you have the scents, you have the lights, smoke. Watching that was actually hell.
I don't know. It actually was really nice when they did it for premiere.
To be fair, the experience was not the best. One had just had dinner, had been waiting in line to get a drink, and then I realized, okay, it's starting, so we can't wait in line anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And by that point, 2-3 hours without having used the bathroom while also having dinner, it was just an unpleasant movie.
I mean, that's part of it, is just the
fact, and the subtitles
were wrong. Full length.
And the subtitles were formatted wrong also.
I mean, if you're going for a 4D experience, you don't want a full-length movie. Like, really, the 15-minute quickies are about the right length for an experience like that.
Yeah, that's about right. Like, I remember doing they'd opened the Minions one at Universal Studios the last time I was there.
Okay.
It was like Minions, and it was you sitting and flying around. And,
I know I did a couple at Universal. I know I did a couple at Epcot, but that was decades ago. So.
Yeah.
I did Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That's how old I am.
Okay, no, you know what the best 4D one is? I actually completely forgot.
That.
The Transformers ride. As much as I don't like the Michael Bay Transformers movies, the ride is pretty spectacular, I'll say. Squirting water, the smoke, Bumblebee dancing. That worked.
Well, that's what I did, the original Back to the Future ride. That's the one I did.
Oh, that ride's so good. I missed that ride.
Yeah.
I will say,
I've never been to Universal. Like, I've been to like Disney World 10,000 fucking times, but my mom is obsessed with it. So.
I took a friend to Universal for the first time a few years ago, and like running him through the whole thing so he can see everything. And then we're sitting down at Moe's Tavern, and I'm checking something. I'm like, uh-oh. I did not realize that the last tram leaves at 6:45, and it's 6:47. We did everything at Universal except like the signature thing to do at Universal.
Since you're at Moe's Tavern, it feels like that's a cue for Itchy and Scratchy Land to happen. Like the robots just to come to life and start attacking everybody.
Yeah. Man, I will say this. The one nice thing about that Digimon short is the Blu-ray was actually native 3D. I don't have a native 3D screen, but I like the idea that if I ever get a hold of one, I can actually watch it with the perspective.
That's fun.
Yeah. So And then we have DigiFes updates. So
I
they
want all the shit.
so they smartly have gone. There will be an attendance cap for the in-person event, which is the right way to do it.
Doing the bare minimum to keep people safe.
To be fair,
as Japan has been doing this long.
To be fair, it's better than the anti-fuck beds. Now here's the thing: they announced that like last year, but like it's like every time I look at a photo of one of those beds, it's just funny as hell.
Apparently, they're not supposed to be anti-sex beds. That there's some sort of eco thing, but it's still hilarious.
Yeah,
I like this. That's one where the spin is funnier than the reality.
Yeah. Then we have the 20th anniversary Tamers cards that look really nice.
Yeah, nice to have some good cards.
Yeah. Although I will say, it feels like the logo. All three of these cards, you could have put the logo at the bottom right and not have it cover any of the art. Because you have that nice space in the information box.
Yeah.
Although I
it'd
guess,
have to be shrunk a little bit, but I mean, it depends on what the description of the. Depends on how long the description of the card rules are.
But yeah, so I like those cards, and they've also been very clear that while everyone going to DigiFest will get those, they are not exclusive to DigiFest. They will show up later.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and then we have a few more products to be sold at DigiFest, and these are early products. They're bringing back Digimon Stitches. That wasn't last year. That was like 2 years ago when they did that with the Adventure Kids, right?
I don't even remember this.
Me either.
Well, it was the SD designs, and the Digimon are plushies rather than actual Digimon.
I mean, they're cute, yeah.
Yeah, so clear files, can badges.
This is the best of the DigiFest stuff. So yeah.
I don't know. I like the cards, to be honest.
Cards are pretty good, yeah.
The Galgomon one, I don't know why. That one looks really nice to me, even though the others look nice also. That one just looks better to me for some reason. Maybe because it feels like that one's a bit clear to look at to me.
It's a more natural
pose for the character.
Look. It's a lot cleaner. Just the whole uppercut. That dum-dum uppercut or whatever that is.
And look, we're back to the so I don't know, I still don't I was so looking forward to the classic collection, and they kind of all
they're
look like shit.
Yeah, well, they're classic, and the classic.
No, I like the classic art. I really don't. I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know what
most of this for 20 years.
Yeah, we've seen all this.
No, I know. Before. I don't know what I was expecting, but for some reason, I think it's that the binary background keeps being copy pasted. Is what bothers me. Like if it were at an angle or something, I'd feel different. I think.
I would prefer if the regular cards looked like the parallel cards.
Yeah, that would probably make it, because then it just looks like the old card game, and then any complaints we have are rendered moot and bitching.
To me, like when you're playing Cyber Sleuth and doing the whole button subquest or the button or badges side quest, and you're actually check what you've collected, and you get really excited when you get the buttons, but then when you actually go through and see what you've collected, you're just going, oh, this is really generic. Yeah. And you're just not that excited anymore.
And then we're getting more and more previews for Booster Set 5 in the West, and the names are getting worse for some of these, like Zeeg Greymon, but Zeeg spelled backwards, and some of the names are weird. I would have just gone with Zeke or Sieg.
Like, go home, Bandai of America, you're drunk.
I assume they were given these names, to be honest. Then we have the event cards, which those previews are done now. War Greymon and Dan Devimon both get some really nice new artwork. The Dan Devimon feels like, man, he did not have that personality in the show, did he?
He looks great.
He has like the evil grin type.
It looks absolutely badass.
He looks like he's about to. Go ahead.
It looks like Spawn. It's kind of a.
No, see. Here's the thing, though. With the pose, it feels like he's about to punch Tommy.
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel like he's about to punch Tommy or Saba's about to fly at his head or something? And the War Greymon art's just nice, and
Yeah.
I really like that pose, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the gift box, which so Bandai's actually cleared up on Facebook. This is all mock-up stuff. None of this is like the final design. So 4 classic booster packs, a Digivice counter. It said 3 types. Apparently there's 4 for the Digivice counter. A memory gauge, a promo card, and they've also said it is not going to be that Agamon promo card. That is just the stand-in for the image. And
Oh, okay.
in the US, it'll be $25. So we're not quite sure if the Australian price is just the Australia markup or if the price is wrong, which is listed there for $60, which is about 45 US. So we'll see. And then
Well,
the
they like
new
to screw over Australia in general.
Yeah, they do. It's
and then Fun Digica's back with its new co-host, and they're doing matches. And I I like seeing the new parallel cards, especially the option card. And I don't really watch the matches too much, to be honest, so I don't know how well the new host is doing. They're back to doing stuff remotely. Although it's kind of hard to
Leg.
tell how much is remotely, because when they did the remote stuff last year, you could clearly see that they were using remote for the card game. And I think I'm trying to decide if they're doing the card game portion in person or if they have people redoing what they're doing. Because if I look at the screenshots, it doesn't look like that's 2 cameras shoved together. So I wonder if they refilmed it with people.
Possibility.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting to see how different it is than it was a year ago when they were trying to throw stuff together. Like Card Battle didn't have an episode this week, and I assume that's grown out of where clearly they did not have access to the full cast. So we'll see. Like last time they had the teams combined, the people doing the news weren't the people in the actual episode itself. So it'll be interesting to see what pops up in the next week or so. And then we get to where, man, I was like cruising along smoothly doing work last night, and they start throwing stuff up.
I'm sorry.
So the Tamers kitchen car, which was canceled, finally happening, and they actually announced the menus. And I have to say, as much as I don't like the menus, this feels less crazy than some of the ones we've seen in recent memory.
Yeah, some of the other ones look like I'm not sure if I want to put this in my mouth.
Although we do get one of the weird like milk where
Yeah, the matcha milk and
yeah, where like here's the thing, milk tea is fine, but this feels like they've thrown the matcha in the milk, then a bunch of whipped cream in it. I don't see much in the way. The only whipped cream I see in there is holding the Mocha cup, so it's like, did they just blend it into the drink? I don't
Looks
know.
like it, because I've had like matcha milk tea, and that looks pretty accurate.
Yeah. So the drinks
Because
are
it's like
interesting.
the matcha's heavier, so it kind of settles to the bottom of a lot of stuff.
What's interesting is looking at the drinks. None of these are really drinks for me, but I feel like the VIP for the visual is the Gilmon drink.
yeah. I could
Little
drink either
visual hazard
Takado
thing.
or I could do Takado or Guillemons. I'd be okay with those.
The hot dog feels like a lazy way to do bread, though, I have to say.
Oh God, yeah.
They could have at least given us Gilmon bread.
Right?
I feel like they did that with something at some point. I'm probably wrong on that one, but it feels like they did at some point. I'm trying to decide which drink is the least matching of the character's personality, just looking at the visual of the drink. And I
Honestly, they just all look like soda.
Rookies is salty, so that's accurate.
Does Renamon lose by default on this one?
I think so.
Yeah. And then we get the products. So we get the acrylic stands. The drink holder is probably the weirdest one for me. Probably the one that's closest to something I would want. Where it's just like a fancy version of a cup sleeve. I don't know why I like that, but I do, to be honest.
It's just kind of cute.
Yeah. And then postcards for if you buy enough or go to the pop-up shop. And hey, pop-up shop. We love these.
God, I want to go to fucking Japan just so I could raid a
So
pop-up shop.
so the art this time is really nice and everyone gets to be included. And it really is weird, especially for Tamers, to get like the show accurate art.
Yeah. It's, you know how we were complaining about other theaters with Adventure having very generic looking art? I kind of appreciate the generic
So
looking art
it
for these
works
guys.
here because we're so unused to seeing them get art that looks like this. Because even like the Blu-ray box, it doesn't quite look like the show.
Mm-hmm.
And this, it's like, oh, it's weird because it's everyone. No one's left out, and it's all like.
Yeah, like like we have new Kenta art. Holy crap!
The funny part is when you said Kenta, I started looking around for Kenta. And I'm like, I don't like. I'm so
He is,
unused to seeing
yeah,
him. I
he's.
kind of like glossed over him.
I know nobody cares about Kenta, but he's in there. I
Yeah.
promise.
In fact, I'd say the one that looks the worst is probably Impmon. His face looks a bit too cheeky.
Yeah, yeah, it does. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then three limited base pop-up theaters. One of them is real. I think this used to be the Shin Saibashi.
Shinsaibashi.
Close enough. I think that used to be a normal limited base shop and then it closed because I think that's the old Osaka location. So I think that's one that closed a few years ago. Now it's reopened as a pop-up theater. And for the products, hey, it's Tamers and Adventure. And a few people are like, why Adventure? And you know why.
Because Adventure prints money.
Adventure gets people in the door. So we get the can badges. I actually like that it's the same theme for Adventure and Tamers. It matches really
Yeah,
well.
nice consistency there.
And what's odd
Even though
is
again,
go ahead.
even then, it's like the adventure stuff you get less excited about.
So
Like I
I was gonna
appreciate the synergy, but
see, I was gonna disagree. I like looking at the art. It actually looks really nice, especially compared to, especially since we haven't seen this version of the kids as much lately.
yeah, and it is, dynamic and like they're actually moving and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just generic
Yeah.
standing there facing forward clip art.
Talking
Yeah.
about generic. Hey, look, clear files. I
Gotta have
joke.
clear
Ugh.
files.
Here's the thing. I'm not gonna buy clear files because I just don't have any use for them. I actually like the designs. It's the type of thing where you really hope 6 months from now they do one where it's like O2 Frontier Savers Crosswords because the theme works really well. I think.
I do love my Atmon Try clear file.
Yeah.
I actually do use that one.
Acrylic keychains. We don't have anything to say
I
with these
just shove
because
them into a frame.
we've commented on all the designs. And then the memorial magnets are back, and it's all O2 and Tamers this time. Although the weird thing is looking
Oh
at
yeah, that is.
So here's the weird thing. Looking at the Tamers ones, when I see the card slash, I'm sitting here going, did they really not do those when Tamers showed up the other times? Because it feels like they would have. The other one it feels like they would have is the Sylphimon one. It's like they haven't used that Sylphimon's main attack pose.
No, I don't remember seeing that one.
No, I don't remember that one either.
Yeah, maybe I'm just used to seeing that image because it feels like they. I know they didn't, but it feels like they did. And hey, look, the embroidery patches are back, and all of them are really good this time.
Mm-hmm.
I would want that entire set.
Yeah.
And they're from all
Including
four
a
of the
random,
original
yeah,
run
the
of
front.
shows.
Yeah, they got a random Frontier one in there.
Yeah, so we get two for
See you there.
Adventure. We get Angelmon, and we get the Pineapple book. O2 gets a really sharp-looking Black War Greymon one, I have to say. That one looks really good. Sylphimon. Tamers gets 3 for its anniversary. We get Gilmon, Dukemon, Kulumon, and Frontier gets the trio sitting there looking happy.
They are a happy family.
I have to say, I think the best one this time is I think it's Gilmon because of his face.
He's just gonna like walk
Mm.
And
like a Muppet.
Dukemon oddly has like the standing there pose like from the figure the other week.
Yeah.
And
I'd
then
be Dukemon is the one of those I would want the least, to be honest.
I think for
Like
me
all of the other
I
ones,
think
I'm
the one I
like, there's
want the
just a little
least for
more.
me is probably the Pineapple book, to be honest.
That's fair too.
Yeah. You know, I'm kind of torn on Kulumon because Kulumon's the face is kind of like a very Kulumon pose, I will say.
The
Mhm.
mouth is a little weird though.
I don't
It's a
mind the mouth, it's just the pose feels very much Kulumon in every art ever. Although I still like the art.
yeah.
And then the travel stickers this time feel weird because they're getting more comedic, I feel like.
A little bit.
Yeah. Although I think the Terriermon Kulumon crossing one's my favorite though. Then we have more can badges, more acrylic keychains, and the acrylic towers are back. And the Tamers looking ones look really nice, I have to say.
I really want the one with Ruki and Renamon.
Yeah, Ruki for sure.
So I like these. The one that I think's weirdest to me is the Terriermon in general one for one reason. I know it's his bedroom, but something about the look makes me feel like hospital room.
I was gonna say it looks like a hospital.
Yeah, it's
I
because you
think
look
it's
at
because we're used to him being in like with all the computers around and stuff.
yeah,
So like
yeah,
to
and
me, like
because you compare it to Takato and Ruki's, like Takato's outside in the park and there's energy there, and Ruki has her house, which is so iconic,
yeah.
and then Jen just has his room.
I
Well,
mean, they
with
could have put him in like a dojo or something.
so the weird thing with Jen is I'm sitting here going, oh, I guess that one room wasn't his bedroom because for some reason I think of that as his bedroom, where it's just all the
Yeah,
computer
I
gear and like a
can't.
bed in the corner. And I'm sitting here going, I don't remember if it is or isn't, to be honest.
Yeah, that
It
like that
just
might have
feels like
been
a
just.
generic
Yeah.
room.
And then we have the weirdest products, Digimon Pin Badges, and to use as the pop art. It's been a good year and a half, 2 years since we've seen this art. I think it's been a while. I mean, I like the art, but
Yeah.
it's been a while. Tentomon's the best because he has a weird look to him that I just kind of love.
Mhm.
It also has like a little laptop there.
Yeah.
Yep. And then they announced bonus stuff. Uh, Gabuma, both are for the Shinbaya. AR, you say it. I keep getting tongue tied.
Tadama?
No, the Shin Saibashi location.
Oh, Shinsaibashi?
Yeah, Gabumon will show up for a photo event there.
Mine's better.
Have we seen the Gabumon suit in a while?
It's been at least like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. But there also haven't been like events in 2 or 3 years.
I think the
so.
last time we saw the Gabumon, it was the camping event, wasn't it?
Maybe?
Yeah. And then for Tamers, they'll do some screenings of some episodes that they're letting people vote for. Be interesting to see what pops up. And of course, since it is the pop-up theater, we get to see the Shibuya-ish heroic saga of Pumpin Gatsu.
Yeah.
A good choice.
Well, that's the only one that hadn't been shown yet,
And
so it was the default choice.
it's amazing how long it's been. It's like, oh yeah, there's a fifth one that still hadn't
Yeah.
gotten screened.
And then Digimon Profile 12 went over armor levels and Digimentals. I like the art. Like I'm just looking at the art. Like, man, it's weird to think like they can get away with not using Flame Dramon in the art for this type of thing. So went over that, and the poll is: who's your favorite gold Digimon? And a rare time when the choices, and I saw some people get upset about one specific character not show up, and it's like, oh, that actually is a weird choice to not have. Starts with a Z.
The
Zubamon.
anniversary one, Zubamon, yeah.
Yeah. Him or any of his evolutions would have been like a prime choice for this poll. And
Yeah.
and it feels like a few of them are kind of iffy on calling them gold, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. Some of those I don't associate with being like gold. Like I don't think of Alegmon as being gold. He's or associating him with a
to
color
He
in
just
be fair,
happens
particular.
to be wearing
to be
some
fair,
gold.
his art is gold. But
Yeah,
like
yeah, okay.
like
His color is the sea.
like Aegis Dramon, I don't really associate him with being gold, although he is. Hercules Kabuterimon, I have an issue with him and Hoomon, I would say. Like
I
sure,
always felt
Uh,
like Hercules
Hercules
Kabuterimon was more
Kabuterimon
like
is.
a tan.
I'm okay with Hercules Kabuterimon being gold and Hoemon once I have a think about it. I'm like,
yeah,
okay,
oh sure.
sure.
But I'm saying when Zubamon's not there is what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm looking at these and I'm trying to decide who I think would win, and it's like, man, they really aren't giving real choices anymore.
Feel like Magnemon's got a good edge here.
I feel like it's somewhere between Magnamon, Crescarumon,
Oh
or
yeah,
Omega
Crest has got a
Shoutmon.
shot. Hmm.
Omega
Maybe
Shoutmon
Mega
feels like
Shoutmon.
a possible big choice.
That's a dark horse candidate,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Magnamon feels like the obvious choice, though.
yeah.
Yeah, because everyone's a slut for the Royal Knights.
And everyone's a slut for Vmon evolutions.
Yeah, I was gonna say 02, not Royal Knights, to be honest. Yeah, and then Jump Festa. I guess it's not Jump Festa. I guess it's associated with it, but Jump Treasure Box, where various jump stuff you enter to win 30,000 treasure boxes, which they ship you with, have a bunch of stuff with some Digimon stuff, an A5 half sheet sticker for the current poster art, and the Pulsemon. This was was this the first parallel card, or was it the one in that was included with the vital? But this is the parallel card, right?
It looks like it. I just don't
It's
remember which.
it's been a while since we saw those cards, which is why. But yeah, so it's neat. Nothing super special, but still neat, to be honest. And then the thing, hey Dev, Wizardmon and Tailmon jumping
Eh,
from a U.S. shop, just like you wanted.
exactly.
Yeah,
Once I get paid again, I'm gonna get it off of Crunchyroll.
yeah. I think you just answered one of the questions that was sent in also.
Well, I
Wanting,
was going to get it this week, but my car battery went to the
ooh,
friggin' afterlife yesterday.
Oh.
that's not fun.
Yeah, good
Yeah, I had
thing
that
my
happen.
parents were up at the mall with me
Oh,
playing
good.
Pokemon Go.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
I had
oh,
a
okay, I'm done for the day. I'm gonna go get in my car and go home, and it didn't start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a story about that happening to me this winter. It's not fun.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to have this re-release because while it's not super old, it's almost from a different era in trying to import and collect stuff. Like it's right at the time where it was still almost kind of confusing to try to explain to people using an intermediary. So it's kind of neat that this has been re-released and now people can nab it easily again. And then, so the museum exhibition opened, and both Bandai, Digimon Web, and the museum, they put up some photos. And did you see who else we had photos from? Not in the card, but
Could it be
Kakudo went there.
Kakudo?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna joke last week about Kakudo sneaking in there and taking pictures
Well,
for
here's the
us.
thing. It appears he went there just when it was actually open, so it wasn't like his normal.
Sneak in and take pictures when he's not technically supposed to be taking pictures.
Yes, but it's like, yeah. What are they gonna do? Throw out the director of the show? So it's been a while, but yeah. So the Agamon statue is the original one. It's been a while since we've seen. I don't remember. I think it was DigiFes a few years ago when they don't bring out this one that often, to be honest. And we can see a bunch of the displays. We can see the little theater. I don't know. I like the look of this, to be honest. I'm curious to see, like, is it just the space from the photo, or is there more in another room? I'm curious.
If the
I
main
feel like there'd
access
be a
is,
little bit more.
I wonder if the main access is going down the stairs or going up the stairs. Because going up the stairs to that Agumon would be really cool.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Especially with the photo where it's like from a lower angle.
Yeah, like isn't that the best?
That's neat. I didn't even think
Good
about that.
presentation.
Although I do admit, going down the stairs where you're walking past the episode stuff is a neat way to enter it, though. Although I think you're right, because they talked about how Agumon would greet you, didn't they?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I think you're right.
Yeah, you
and
go
that's
up
what it
to
is.
the Agumon, and then you do the stuff on that floor, and then you go up the stairs further to the episode stuff.
And they probably have that. It was where you'd be able to sketch over drawings.
Mm.
So maybe that's up the stairs. And then we got large art of the plushes, which everyone wants.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
I want to hug it.
Those will be out in the next few days. Import shops sometimes do order cases of these, so good luck if you want it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is something you'd be able to definitely get at like a convention or something.
Yeah.
Don't rule it out. Yeah. Once conventions are getting really close to starting up again.
Paying 2 or 3 times how much it costs at a convention.
It's okay. I do it all the time.
Yeah. And then we have reference book updates for.
I feel like we already talked about these.
We did, but there's some interesting ones, like getting the adult Burgermon. Some of these are, they're all pseudo recolors, but like Pidmon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so here's the weird thing.
Still looks like shit.
So here's the weird thing.
The recolor of Citramon.
So at the site, they keep track of what, like, over the last week are the most popular reference book entries looked at. Are you ready for the top 5?
Sure.
Number 1 is Kreskarumon.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, which, if nothing else, tells you how the show's doing. That it just blew away everything. Number 2 is Pitmon.
I had to look up Kreskarumon for my blog last week, so
Hitmon being 2 is kind of an interesting one.
Yeah.
Number 3, Ultra S, which, not shocking. Number 4 is the most shocking one. Gardramon Gold. And then 5.
Everyone laughing at how bad the art is.
And then 5 is the Edo mode for Gaomon.
Oh.
Nice that he's gotten to hang around for a few weeks in the listings.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. And then they also put up large profile art of Algomon since the episode aired.
Yeah.
And then we got some other art. So the rainy season ended in Japan, so they posted some old social art of Palmon with flowers. And then we got new art from Kenji Watanabe, which, damn, that looks nice.
That looks so good.
Yeah. And his message is basically, it's going to be hard. I'll draw something for now anyways. I think it's becoming clear. Because what it is they're doing like all the doll shows in a row on Sundays.
Oh.
And since that's his thing, now that they're catching up on stuff, he just doesn't, I don't think he has the time to do these, and he's still trying. Like, here's the thing, looking at it, you go, wow, that's such a nice minimal art style. And you can also go, I'm pretty sure he did that because that's the time he had. And it still looks really good. Although, interestingly, looking at it, is that the old DigiFes?
Actually, yeah, it looks like it.
Maybe.
Because the new one doesn't have the buttons.
Little thing. Yep, I definitely see buttons.
Yeah. Love that art. And then we have questions. So you guys in the chat can go ahead and throw those. Dev took care of one of them.
Oops.
What's weird is I should have thought, no, that's not even an oops. It didn't even occur to me, like, when I put the question in the list when someone sent it in. Because that was one that was sent to the Curious Cat.
I feel like that question gets asked like you ask Dev that every week that figure shows up, so.
Yeah.
To be fair, the Wizardmon only showed up for the first time a couple weeks ago. The one that people like asking Dev about is the Versus figure. I've stopped inserting those because people keep asking Dev about them.
Which is weird because it's like,
I think you've said everything about
what I'm spending my money on.
Oh, when you get it, there might be stuff to say. So someone wants to know, why did the translation of the Tamers stuff stop? Here's my best explanation for that. AR, you're not translating it for anyone, correct? You're just reading it.
I don't even have time
Are
to
you?
read them,
Yeah,
to be
he's writing
honest.
so much.
Yeah.
And I just
And
have.
don't get me wrong, there's a lot of stuff that I would like to get to, but I just don't have the time to process all of it.
He's
There's
writing a
plenty of
lot.
episodes that I would
He's
have
all.
liked to go back and read.
He's also
I
getting
might.
a little paranoid in the writing too, to be honest.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's Konaki. You can tell there's a little bit of weird
Yeah.
paranoia stuff going on in all
But
this,
yeah,
in the stuff he puts out.
it's basically, while I can never guarantee I'm translating stuff well, I'm relatively comfortable with what I'm doing,
Mhm.
and the time just does not exist with how much stuff has popped up and my
Yeah.
time at the moment.
I do hope to go back and read a few of those later on. Like once after this week, I should be a little more open for
Yeah.
weekdays at least.
Yeah. And Galhart wants to know, with more manga doing well in the West, do we think any of the Digimon manga are worth getting an official localization? All of them.
I mean, they all have their merits.
Yes.
Put it that way. The problem is a lot of them are also products of their time
Although
and where Digimon was at its when they came out.
Now that I think of it, did the redigitized one they just stop it? I think.
I forgot that
I
one
think
existed.
I think that was only like a 2-chapter thing. Like it
No,
was
I think what it
specified like
is
this is
I
it.
think it started in V Jump. Then when Decode came out, they continued it, and I think it ended on a cliffhanger or something. Like they promised more, and it just didn't happen.
Oh, the way I saw it, I thought they were just like, hey, this is like just like a little accompaniment for the game. We're not doing more than just this 1 or 2-chapter thing.
I thought, for some reason, I was under the impression it was gonna. To be fair, that's been like 8, 9.
Redigitize.
That's been like 8, 9 years ago at this point. Now that I think about it,
It's
so
just this. That's just the story of Redigitize on the precipice of being something really cool, and they just the floor drops from it.
yeah. And then someone said fandom humor came up recently. Was that last week or the week before when fandom humor came up?
I don't remember.
Then someone wanted to know
I mean, you've been dragging on the how they've been memeing this episode, so
To be
yeah,
fair,
it's been
they're
a
not
recurring
memeing
element.
good though.
No.
Yeah. So someone wants to know what's the good fandom humor from when Digimon was young. I think they just called all of us old. So here's the one. Here's the one I remember. Goth TK.
Oh yes, Goth TK. Oh my god.
Where a person ran
I
aside
like
and
when they drew a chicken on, they photoshopped a chicken onto Tai Chi's head and called it hentai.
The hentai was one I was thinking of. That's still going around, honestly.
Yeah.
It is.
But yeah,
It is. That one's timeless.
Goth TK was one of the big ones that I remember, and that person just giving everyone weird personalities. Like, I'm pretty sure wasn't Kari like a crazy Christian or something?
Yep, that's the old Crapbordia forums. I have some friends on that. That was fun.
Well, Goth TK had a full site, as I recall.
Yeah, Goth TK had a full site, but yeah, Christian Hikari was I think that was Crapbordia primarily that was the originator of that. But yeah, there were all sorts of good stuff. I forgot what some of the other personalities were. But
Goth
yeah,
TK is all I remember.
That was the one that really stood out.
Yeah.
And it sort of it never really went away either.
No.
We love Goth TK.
Yeah. Now, do you remember any Dev on top, or because you were basically around the same ones as we were? So, any come to mind?
Safe for work.
Well, we already brought up hentai, so
yeah,
we've crossed that bridge.
Yeah, let's see. Then someone wants to know, what do you think is the best superhero movie? I mean, it's either Superman or Spider-Man 2.
I'm gonna be a little bit different and give a shout out to Batman Returns. That was just a weird movie.
Oh, that was definitely a weird movie. I'm not sure weird equates to best in this case, though. It's definitely the weirdest.
Best is a tough argument, but that one I just feel like I need to. That one is of the original Batman series. I think is the one I really want to go back and rewatch because I mean Christopher Walken, come on. Christopher Walken in a Tim Burton Batman movie.
This: as much as it is not a good movie, watching Batman and Robin with someone with popcorn is a fun time.
It is definitely like it
I
is a
enjoy.
it is a bad movie. I enjoyed the hell out of it
So
just
and
because
I'm
it's completely
Batman
ridiculous.
Forever.
so I'm being 100%
Yeah.
serious, and people get upset when it says I would prefer to watch Batman and Robin to The Dark Knight. I'm not saying it's a better movie. I just prefer to
It's
watch it.
fun.
Yes.
It's
And
fun.
also if you like if Batman and Robin is too much for you, you can dial it back just a little bit and go with Batman Forever. Like it's completely ridiculous, but not quite to that extent. Like it's a slightly more competent movie.
Yeah. My favorite moment for Batman and Robin, and most people will pick, the Mr. Freeze ice puns or the Bat credit card. My
Yeah.
favorite moment, though, because it's early in the movie and it's one that I remember pointing out to cousins when they were little, is
Mhm.
the museum heist at the beginning.
Yeah.
Watch when Robin goes through with the motorcycle and crashes through the wall into the museum. The hole behind him is the Batman symbol.
That's right. I actually know. I do remember. I did
I
remember
have to
that.
watch that again. It's been like literally a decade since I've seen that
And I
one.
was
it's a
still young
fun
enough
movie.
when I saw that I thought that was actually really cool.
I don't remember. Here's the thing. Like, I remember when I first saw the movie, I would have been 9. That was
I don't
97, right?
remember how.
Okay, so
I don't remember how.
12 about.
Uh,
I don't remember.
I
I
don't
remember
remember how
sitting in.
old I was, but I saw that in theaters.
Oh, I definitely saw it in theaters. I remember having like blanket and pillow of the movie, and here's why I remember it. The art made no fucking sense, but it was the best art ever. Do you know what it was? It was the movie designs, but as if they were drawn by Bruce Timm.
Oh,
So it's
I
like
don't know if
Mr. Freeze, the movie design, but like it has the Mr. Freeze face
Yeah.
from the yeah. So
Uh,
it's really strange in that it's his style of art, but everything is of the movie. And Mr.
hmm.
Freeze, those two, like Batman is mostly Batman. But when you think
Mm-hmm.
of Mr. Freeze from that, the design doesn't quite fit.
Mm-hmm.
So I still kind of love it. In fact, I'm pasting this in the chat because for them and for you guys, because I just found a picture of the blanket. I don't think this is the blanket I had, but you'll at least see what I mean. Where it's like they've tried to
Oh,
mix both Mr. Freezes together.
yeah.
Ah, okay.
Which is really hard to do.
Yeah, but it actually doesn't.
Yeah.
And Batman's sort of just Batman from the cartoon, but like in a Michael
I
Keaton
I
outfit.
I completely forgot Batgirl was in that movie.
I forgot during the conversation, if I'm being honest. Like I'm looking at him like, who the hell is that? It's like Batgirl. It's like, oh, she is in the movie. I mean,
Yeah,
that doesn't
that
look
was
anything like her, but
no.
close enough. Yeah. But yeah. Let's see. Did we miss any in the chat? Let's see.
I like when the question was what was the best superhero movie, and we end up spending 5 minutes on Batman and Robin.
To be fair, when I'm done with work for the month, I'm gonna like get some good food and watch that movie and laugh and have fun. So Ian
Mm,
wants to know if AR doesn't follow the current stuff on Hulu to anticipate any changes in the podcast schedule or host. I would expect, and AR is welcome to correct me. I would expect he would still show up and comment. He might just not talk a lot during the episode stuff.
depends. Well, that's sort of a play it by ear
Yeah,
situation.
it's
Like
hard to
I'm
comment
seriously
ahead of
crossing.
time. Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
I'm seriously crossing my fingers that the Hulu stuff gets resolved.
Yeah.
Like that's my real hope
Yeah.
here. Like if it
Because
doesn't, then we'll figure something out.
Because here's the thing. Objectively, we at no point have we gone. Well, AR is leaving.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
mean he's not staying forever, and I'm not staying forever. But we have not
Mm,
at any point gone. So you're leaving, right? My
right.
expectation is AR is still going to be here. How that will be handled, I have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. That's just being honest.
We have a couple months to figure that out.
Yeah. And it wasn't a question on the list, but I might as well handle it since a few people asked why don't we go over rumors? because it's
You don't
without.
fucking pay attention.
So here's the thing. I do. It's a matter of if I have the time to track down if I deem them accurate enough to be news. And there are lots of rumors popping up about new DigiFes toys. But I have neither the time at the moment to track them down beyond, oh, it is clearly a digital screen cap of a text list of a sales sheet, but it's just the text. And it looks like it's been printed on a piece of paper and rescanned or photographed, and people keep attaching show art to it. The list could be real, but I don't have the time to dig into it, and we'll see. At the moment, we clearly are expecting new Digivices, though, I think at the moment. But so we'll see what pops up.
Yeah, they haven't released another one in a while, so
Well,
And if there is a new,
time
and
to
if there
shake
is
us
a
down for more
new,
money.
and if there is a new series coming out, I would
here's
expect.
the thing. The reason why people are asking is the compatibility of the rumored toy, which we're going over this because it's relevant. Is it appears to be an upgrade of the Vital bracelet.
Oh,
I
that's interesting.
think the name was Digivice V, but like some of the dim card names, they sound a little fake, like Villainmon. Like that could be real, but that sounds kind of fake.
That's the eyeball.
Yeah. So yeah, I expect there's at the very least there's probably grains of truth in it. Like we know we're getting something, and it probably will have new Digivices because those are sellable toys.
I would absolutely laugh forever if the final villain in this series was
Well,
called a Villainmon.
to be fair though, based on the theoretical dates, it would be for the next thing. But hey, we talked about how we expect Pulsemon to show up at some point.
Well, there you go.
This could be the chance. Then someone wants to know if we could. So before I read this question, I have to point out this was not sent in today or last night. This was like sent in Thursday or Wednesday. It's just really coincidental timing. Someone wants to know if you could make a pop-up event character drink, what would you do?
We've had recent pop-up. We've had recent character drinks like a couple of weeks ago, so it's.
See, my problem with coming up with one of these is nothing like I'm not a big fan of like mixed drinks with like shit in it, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was like, can I just have a cherry cola, please?
Yeah, like it's the type of thing where like it's like if I'm at a thing, it's like, oh, there's an open bar. I'll take a ginger ale, please. Coca-Cola,
I mean, if I'm
or
anywhere, I usually just grab like a lemonade of
yeah,
some sort.
or my personal favorite that confuses people when I order it, tonic water. And they're like, what do you want? No, just tonic water.
That feels very Zenjiro to me. They just have a basic tonic water. That's all you need.
I can't really have anything like too fizzy, or else I get hiccups.
Ah. But yeah,
there is no way to answer this question without being really snarky about one of the characters in the franchise. Which character it is, you can take a pick.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Tamers one. I'm trying to like come up with a drink, and the problem is anything I come up with isn't something I would want to drink.
Oh yeah, totally.
So it's hard for me to do it because I'm trying to like do it honestly, but the problem is coming up with a drink that you don't want to drink yourself.
Right. That's just unfair.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here going like, okay, how like cocoa with whipped cream and how it's some chocolate sprinkles on. It's like that's not really a collaboration drink. That's just a type of hot cocoa you would expect to find somewhere.
My snark would be that the reboot Taichi would be just a can of LaCroix.
So very popular and selling far better than most people expect.
Very popular, no flavor.
Hey, I'll have you know, I tried their lime flavor, and that certainly felt like I had once smelled the lime. But yeah,
well, that's the experience.
Mention the name of a fruit from another room.
But yeah, so we're all terrible with that because none of us like that type of drink. So yeah.
I mean, if it was desserts, I'd be like, hell yeah, give me a Holy
desserts.
Digimon themed strawberry shortcake.
And it's just gigantic.
Well, we need to get someone who is a little bit of a a bartender and get some proper alcoholic beverages named for some of these characters.
Probably.
That's what we need to do.
Last call for questions from the chat. Someone wanted to know what was with the image quality of the Advent Children stuff I posted on Twitter, and that was an example of me posting when a movie on remastered does not look good. It remember
Sometimes things are worse.
See, I have no idea what you're talking about. I
Yeah.
haven't thought about Advent Children in like 10 years.
the 4K disc just came out, and I'm linking you guys my post with native resolution screen caps. One of them, I believe, was slightly correct. So here's the thing. They didn't re-render any of Advent Children. So what it is when they did Advent Children on Blu-ray, a lot of the movie was 480 scaled up. Some of the new stuff was 720 scaled up. And they also used some clips from Crisis Core. Which was the PSP one? That was Crisis Core, right?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah, and they used some stuff from that scaled up. So you end up with a 4K movie where most of the footage didn't really stand up on Blu-ray in the first place. So like if you look at the Vincent image, that's what it looks like on the disc. That's not me zooming in or anything. That's cropping it. Like you can even see the background.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Because most of the time when I'm posting stuff, I'm like, oh, this movie looks good on 4K, so I post a screen cap or two. And I was very curious how this one would look, and it doesn't.
Nope.
That is unpleasant to witness with my eyes.
Yeah, it's not a good looking one. So I think that's about it. AR, have you done anything lately that you would like anyone to see?
Digimon related? No, I'm stuck on other stuff these last few weeks, so hopefully next week I can start getting back into a couple projects. My website is digimon.firstagent.net, which still has my review blogs. However, you can check those out and get my thoughts on the current series.
For now.
As long as it lasts. And I'm on Twitter at firstagentARP.
Dev, what Wikimon arc would you like people to read? And I know you can't name it. I know the one you're thinking of. You're not allowed to use it.
Okay, well, I'll just use Alraumon, which is like, hey, they already have a recolor that has a reference.
There you go.
Because I know you were going to say Gargemon Gold. I know you well enough.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the one I was thinking of, too.
Yeah. And
I'm glad you picked
recolor.
I'm glad you picked Alraumon, though. That's like my favorite recolor of all of the cheap recolors.
It's purple.
How excited would you be if next week Citramon showed up?
Oh my god, that would be my
favorite. Would actually be really funny.
Now here's the thing. Would you be excited because Citramon showed up, or would you be excited because of how upset that would make some people?
Both.
Why not both?
And also because it would be added to the reference book the day after.
Oh, I didn't mean the show. I meant the reference book.
Oh, the reference book would just be. I mean, that would be okay. Like I'd enjoy that.
I don't expect Citramon to show up in the show.
What if it was like an episode of Bomber Nanamon and Citramon fighting each other?
If they got Automata Kachimon in the show, they can put Citramon in the show.
True.
Like it's fair game at this point.
And we're only a couple weeks away from DigiFes.
Oh yeah.
And now that they're selling stuff, it definitely shows as being geo-locked. So. So
well,
we'll see.
I will sleep.
I won't sleep, but I'm not jumping through hoops. Like I
will sleep and will not look at the Twitter feed when I wake up.
Yeah. And
oh god, what do I have to look forward to now?
Adventure : with Pulsemon. I actually
do kind of want to see Pulsemon in a series.
So I really need to not make that joke because both of those are like the most likely things I could think of for an actual next show.
I don't know about semicolon. I think they'll have a different punctuation here. I'm going for an M dash.
Equal.
There you go.
No, see, the M dash is old fashioned. You're too stodgy, old man. It's the N dash nowadays that the kids use.
My God, I just started getting into the M dash too. They've
I
already
prefer I
switched.
I prefer the N dash. It just looks nicer, not being
Hmm.
quite so long to me.
Hmm. I'm an English minor. I don't actually know the full context of when you're supposed to use an N dash.
I don't care about the context. I just prefer the N dash whenever possible.
I feel like I need to look that up now.
Yeah, so we will catch you guys next week. And I'm trying to think how much news they can pile into next week, considering all the stuff we were like waiting to find out about, like, oh, another pop-up shop, and they've announced all that now. It's like DigiFes is coming up. That's where you have news. So what can they possibly chuck at us in the next week and a half?
Uh,
Yeah.
I just looked up the proper use of the N dash, and no, it's boring. N dash is I mean, it has its functions, but it's nothing to get excited
So
about.
you're on the N dash train officially then.
No, yeah, I'm sticking with M dash. N dash is like it has its purposes, but it's just not that. It's not sexy.
dead people.
So we will catch you guys next time. Thank you for showing up. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.